Escalations are unfolding right before our eyes in Russia. We've got 50,000 troops amassed on the outside of Kharkiv, which is the second largest city in Ukraine, called Fortress City, right on the border of Russia, on the east side. And Putin isn't coming to the table, or frankly, Zelensky's the one not coming to the table on peace. And so Putin is escalating to try to apply pressure to this administration. And this Zelensky administration is so sadistic in all of its modes, means, and methods, its tone, its attitude, its approach. It's very fascist, frankly, in everything that it does. He's a dictator, unelected. Perpetually just suspended democracy in some purgatory, waiting for God's judgment, which will never come. And it's only served to catalyze this conflict and give every incentive to everyone else involved to either totally abandon Ukraine or amass 50,000 troops outside of Kharkiv. And now Zelensky is guilty of yet another failed attempt on Vladimir Putin's life. Let's watch this clip.
During the attack, President
was flying to the Kursk region, absolutely right. During this period when the president was working in the Kursk region, the enemy launched an unprecedented attack with unmanned aerial vehicles. The air defense force in the area destroyed 46 unmanned aerial vehicles, 46 of the aircraft type. Please note that the intensity of the attack during the flight, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief's aircraft over the territory of the Kursk region increased significantly. Therefore, we simultaneously conducted anti-aircraft combat and ensured the safety of the presidential helicopter in the air. Task was accomplished. The enemy drone attack was repelled, and all air targets were hit. So, Vladimir Putin's flying over the Kursk region in a helicopter, and Zelensky sends dozens of drones to try to bring it down. And I don't know if I'm just wrong about this, but my intuition from, was it the Geneva Conventions or something like that, was that one of the rules of war is that you don't attack a head of state directly. You're not supposed to assassinate heads of state. You're not supposed to go after senators or congressmen or presidents of countries, leaders in parliament. You're supposed to have a war out on the ground or in the air with combat units versus combat units, and to assassinate a head of state is a violation of the Geneva Conventions. That's my understanding. And everyone's like, oh, Vladimir Putin's such a bad guy. When at least he's democratic enough to have phony elections. Zelensky won't even allow elections at all. And there's been option for peace after option for peace throughout this entire conflict. And the rest of the world has just funneled money of its own people, despite their own interests, exploiting their own interests, frankly, just sacrificing and compromising their own interests into this region, into this conflict, which is literally just like throwing bodies into a giant grinder with flesh and blood flying out, smattering the faces of a delighted globalist elite like the Zelenskys as they pass 8-ball after 8-ball around on train after train to Macron and Keir Starmer. And while this coked out elite steals billions of your dollars to fund battalions of troops wearing insignia your grandfathers fought against in World War after World War, since now seems to be a series, we're just going to let this all happen. And the leftists just say, oh, Putin's so bad. Look, I'm not saying he's a hero. I'm not saying he's a villain. He's probably a little bit of both. But the real supervillain in this is Zelensky, and the real accomplices in this is the West, who has sold out the interests of their own people to fund this conflict. They allow their own nations to be invaded by refugees and asylum seekers and rapists and murderers, whether it's in the United States or throughout all of Europe, while they protect, quote, protect the border of Ukraine for some unknown, ununderstood reason. It's not abundantly clear why we would do this whatsoever at all, and it's just happening. And we can get sidetracked on how we feel about genocide here or carpet bombing there. But I don't think there's a conflict that's culminated in more death than this conflict. I mean, this should be the one to end. The first priority, we have to stop the dying. I want the killing and the dying to stop, in the words of Donald J. Trump. And the best way to do that is freedom of speech and supporting InfoWars. Go to theAlexJonesStore.com right now and be the reason the world could be at peace.